Hello students, welcome to CMS online classes. This video is for class 10th. So students, we are discussing about the life processes, the chapter 6, and we have completed, in the last video we have completed till the transportation in human beings, isn't it? And also in some animals. So today's topic is to complete the transportation in plants. And in the previous video, students, I have given that what are the transporting materials in animals and plant, that both I have discussed. Okay, so in plant the transporting materials are the gases, the cellular waste, then the water and the food, isn't it? And in plants they don't have any blood, they don't have blood, they don't have heart, but the transportation is there. That means there are some systems are present inside the plant, okay, which help in the transport of all these materials. Like in animals we are having or in human beings we are having the blood, which carries all the materials from one part of the body to different parts of the body. Okay, in plants also there are separate parts, different parts are there, different tissues are there for that. In class 9th you have learned about the tissue. And what are the tissue? They are called as the vascular tissue or the vascular bundles. They are of complex permanent tissue. Permanent tissue, you know students, in plants, okay, they have already lost their capacity to divide. Okay, so these are the xylem and phloem. These are the two vascular bundles or conductive tissue. They are also called as the vascular tissue or conductive tissue. Okay, and the functions are different. As you can see, when we will just see the TS of root or TS of stem. Okay, TS means transversal section. Okay, so and actually transversal section means what? Suppose one stem is there. So if you are cutting like this, that is transverse section. And if you are cutting the stem longitudinally, vertically, that is called LS, longitudinal section. So in when you are observing the things under a microscope, you can see two things, LS and TS. TS means transverse section. Transversally we are just cutting and we are observing the things. And longitudinal section means vertically when we are cutting it. Okay, so here we can see the structure of the TS of a stem or root, anything you can see. So you can see inside some structures are present. It is written xylem and phloem. So inside the cambium, inside the epidermis, inside the stem or the root, okay, different layers are there. You can see, as you can see in the diagram, different layers are there. And in the innermost part of the stem or root, it consists of the vascular tissue, which are the conductive tissues, and they are for the conduction or transportation in plants. So before we have known about the gas exchange that is done by the stomata. Yes, okay, and also some waste are also released, like the leaf fall. When the leaf falls, then also some waste are released. Okay, even the transpiration, the excess of water is lost by this process, evaporation. Is it clear? So today we will discuss about the conduction of the water and minerals from the soil to top of the plant. And second, we will see the conduction of the food from the kitchen, that is the leaf, from all the parts. Okay, so first we will discuss about the water and minerals. How this water and minerals, this is a long question students, how water and minerals are being transported in plants. Okay, so here as we know that the xylem are responsible for the conduction of the water and minerals, and we know that from the soil the water is carrying all the minerals, all the nutrients in dissolved form. The minerals, the ions, some of the nutrients, some of the fertilizers, all are dissolved in the water and they are absorbed by the root hair of the soil, that plant. Is it clear? So when the root hairs or the root absorbs the water, it is at the bottom of the plant. So it is reaching to the top of the plant. So how is it possible? Actually the transportation of the water and minerals is being done by two processes. By two methods actually. The first one is the transpirational pull. It's also called a suction pull. Like we are having the cold drinks. When we are drinking the cold drinks with the help of a straw. Okay, so simply what we do? We suck it. Yes, inside the pipe only air is present, isn't it? So when we suck it, automatically the juice or the fruity comes to your mouth with a pressure, isn't it? Exactly same thing happens here. Actually what happens, you can see also in the diagram, when the transpiration takes place, it is taking place in the aerial part from the leaf of the plant. So actually the water is having one, means the xylem is having a continuous, you can say, formation from the root to the top of the plant. So the cells are connected continuously. They form a continuous tube throughout the stem, throughout to the till the top of the plant. So what happens actually? So when the transpiration or the water is lost from the first cell, yes, from the first cell, as you can see in the diagram of students I have done here. So from the first cell, the water is going out. Okay, so that vacant place is replaced by the second cell. Is it clear? Again, when the second place is vacant, because it is given the water to the first, again from the third cell, again from the fourth cell. So in this manner, actually the tension or the pressure is there. One pressure is there, okay, and it reaches to the end of the cell, root. That is a root. So in root, what happens? When the cell, large cell, is having a vacant, they absorb the water from the soil. Is it clear, students? Okay, so there is the, and in that pressure, that is called transpirational pool. In that pool, what happens? Automatically, so in the aerial part, the transpiration is going on, and from the bottom, the water is being absorbed. And also, if it is a continuous tube from the root to the top of the plant, and this occurs mostly in the tall plants. Okay, like you can say the coconut tree. Okay, the evergreen forest, you know that all the trees are very tall, isn't it? So this occurs mostly in the tall plants. There is a continuous tube of xylem from the root to the tip of the plant. So this is about the transpirational pool. Is it clear? That means you can say that in the daytime the absorption of water is more. Why? Because the water is, the sunlight is present in the daytime. So the water is, it is evaporated or the transpiration takes place in maximum amount in the daytime. And with that pressure, the water is also being absorbed maximum in the daytime. Isn't it? That's why we just water the plants during the daytime. We never water the plant at night. Isn't it? So the maximum amount of water is, or the minerals are, they're absorbed during the daytime when the transpiration takes place. Is it clear? So second, we will discuss about the osmosis. As I can just say the definition of osmosis, students, the movement of solvent particles. In bracket I can read the water mostly. Okay, from a higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Is it clear, students? So here which type of solvent is being transported? The water. But the water is not alone. It is also having some minerals in the dissolved form. Okay, so that is it is conducted, or that is in the soil, you can say the amount of water and minerals is more. In the root here it is less. So automatically and also it is not always automatical. Okay, automatically. Sometimes they also use some energy currency, that is the ATP. So some amount of ATP is also utilized by this process, the osmosis particularly. Is it clear? So actually what happens? So the solute particles along with the solvent, that is the water, okay, they are absorbed by the root hair, and the root hair, the cell membrane of the root hair, that acts as the semi-permeable membrane, and which is necessary for the osmosis process. And automatically again it is from higher concentration to lower concentration, the solvent, that is the water, is absorbed. So this is the second process of water conduction through the xylem. And in xylem, it's very important that students, you should know that the movement is always, it is upward in one direction. So this point you can write in the differences in xylem and phloem. Okay, so the movement is always, it is upward. Is it clear? From the root of the plant to the tip of the plant. Is it clear, students? So this is about the conduction of water through xylem. Yes. Now I will go to the second part, that is the food. The conduction of the food. how the food is it is conducted. Okay, we know that the leaves are the kitchen of the plant. Okay, in the leaves only the food is being prepared, and that is in the form of starch, isn't it? So I will just give example, students. In our home also, we cook the food in the kitchen. But do we eat in the kitchen? No. It should be transported, or it is coming to our dining table, and then we all together, we are sitting and we are having our food. Isn't it? That means from the kitchen it should be transported, it should be conducted. It should be distributed to all the parts. Isn't it? So mostly what happens in phloem? The food is being transported, and that process is called, students, translocation. Once again I am telling, that is called translocation. The movement or simply the conduction of food from the green part, that is the leaf, from the non-green parts. That means non-green parts means even to the flower, the fruit, the stem, even to the roots, because roots also need some energy. So all the non-green parts are getting the food by this translocation process. So there also what happens, and the food is being transported also by the diffusion process. So here I will just give the definition for diffusion. The movement of solute particles, that may be solid, that may be gas, that may be liquid, any states of matter. Okay, the solute particle, the movement of the solute particles from a higher concentration to lower concentration is called as the diffusion. Is it clear? I think in chemistry also you know about the term diffusion. So in the leaf, the food is prepared, and that should be conducted to different on the non-green parts. So there in the leaves the concentration is more, and in the non-green parts the concentration is less. So from a higher concentration to lower concentration, the food will go, or food will be conducted, and that is done by the phloem. And here again I will tell you, students, the xylem and phloem are also present in the leaf veins, because finally the leaf is getting the minerals or waters through the veins. Is it clear? The main vein, okay, the midrib, you can say. In the midrib also it is located. So from the midrib they get the water and minerals, and also the food is also being transported through that leaf, again to the branch, again to the stem, then to the root. Non-green parts, all the non-green parts, they get the food, and that process is called translocation. So this is about the food, how it is being conducted in plants. Am I clear, students? So here we have seen that the transport, you can see the transport in animal or human beings and transport in plants, it's quite different. Okay, and in xylem, students, there are 4 components. Like we are having the circulatory system components, heart, blood vessels. Okay, in conductive tissue also, for xylem components are there, different components are there. For phloem, different components are there. Yes, so the components of xylem are, you can see here, students, the vessels, the tracheids, the xylem parenchyma, and the xylem fibers. So these are the 4 components of xylem. And most active cell, you can say, these are the vessels and tracheids. They only conduct the water and minerals. And the parenchyma and the fibers, they just give the support to the cells. This is all about the xylem, components of xylem. Next, the components of phloem. Again, 4 components are there. The first one is the companion cell. The second one is the seep tube. The third one is the parenchyma or phloem parenchyma. And the fourth one is the phloem fiber. So these are the 4 components of phloem. And here also the companion cell and the seep tubes, actually they share some functions. They work together. Okay, they always work together, and they only conduct the food. And the parenchyma and the fibers, they give support to these cells. Okay, so this is about the components of the xylem and phloem. So here I will just show you, students, the tables for the differences between the xylem and phloem. This is also a short question. Sometimes comes in 5 marks also. So you note down as many as possible. You just write down the points, and this table also you can make in your copy. Okay, so you can see the differences. Okay, very nicely given. The functions, the structures, the components. Is it clear? Okay, and in phloem, you can see that it is bidirectional, means it is going to up and down. In the both direction it is going. Okay, it is going in both direction. Is it clear? But in xylem it was unidirectional. So this is all about your xylem and phloem. Okay, and how the water and the food is being conducted in plants. Is it clear? Yes. So now students, I have prepared some questions for you for this topic. So up to this we have completed the third life process, that is the transportation. Okay, next class we will be discussing about the last, that is the excretion. Okay, and before that I will just give some questions, students, to note down. Okay. So here are the questions, students. Note it down. The first question, define the terms. So here I have given two terms. First one is the transpiration and second one is the translocation. Okay, two terms. Next, write a short note on transpirational pool or suction pool. Okay. Third, the rate of absorption of water and minerals is more during daytime than the night. Justify the statement. Next, differentiate between xylem and phloem. And the last question is, write about the different components of xylem and phloem. So these are the questions I have prepared for this part, transportation in plants. Okay, and already I told you that it is very different, quite different from transportation in animals. Isn't it? So next class again we will be heading towards our next life processes. Till the time you complete your answer, the homework you complete. Okay, thank you.